What happens when two nations with shared borders and a history of rivalry compete for dominance in one of the world's most strategically vital regions? The contest unfolds in the Eastern Mediterranean, where Greece and Turkey are vying for control over strategic waterways and energy resources, heightening tensions and influencing the region's stability. Greece is embarking on an ambitious military modernization program in response to Turkey's rapid emergence as a regional power. This story isn't just about geopolitical rivalry, but more about safeguarding sovereignty, maintaining regional stability, and securing critical resources. In this video, we'll explain why Greece's military upgrades are crucial, how they intersect with Turkey's growing ambitions, and what this means for the fragile balance of power in the Mediterranean. Turkey, a nation straddling the crossroads of Europe and Asia, is carving out a distinct and influential role in the emerging world order. Driven by its unique geographic position, historical legacy, and ambitious leadership, Turkey has embraced a multifaceted foreign policy aimed at securing its place as a global power. Economic strength underpins Turkey's geopolitical ambitions. According to the World Bank, Turkey's GDP reached $905 billion in 2022, making it the 19th largest economy globally. Despite facing significant challenges such as high inflation, which surged over 85% in late 2022, along with currency depreciation, Turkey has demonstrated resilience. With a young and growing population of 85 million and an export-driven economy, Turkey seeks to capitalize on its geographic advantage as a bridge between East and West. Turkey's exports grew from $169 billion in 2017 to $254 billion in 2022, a 50% increase. While Europe accounts for 40% of its exports, Turkey has also expanded trade with Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, reflecting its strategy to reduce economic dependence on the West. Turkey's foreign policy, dubbed 360-degree, aims to maintain strategic flexibility by engaging with multiple power blocs. Firmly rooted in NATO, Ankara simultaneously pursues partnerships with rival powers like Russia and China. This balancing act reflects President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's vision of restoring Turkey's historic status as a major world power. Consider Turkey's approach to Russia and Ukraine. On one hand, Turkey has supported Ukraine militarily by supplying Bayraktar TB2 drones and restricting Russian naval access to the Black Sea. On the other hand, Ankara has avoided Western sanctions against Moscow, prioritizing economic ties. Russian gas constitutes nearly 45% of Turkey's energy imports, while Russian tourists significantly contribute to its economy, numbering 5.2 million visitors in 2022. Furthermore, Turkey's mediation in the Black Sea Grain Initiative, which eased global food shortages, highlighted Ankara's role as a diplomatic bridge between East and West. China plays another pivotal role in Turkey's strategy to bolster its economic and geopolitical influence. Turkey's participation in Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) has facilitated infrastructure projects like railways and power plants. Trade relations have grown, with imports from China reaching $32 billion in 2022. Yet, this relationship is now without complications. Tensions over China's treatment of its Uyghur Muslim minority and concerns about Beijing's debt diplomacy have tempered Ankara's enthusiasm, showcasing Turkey's cautious approach toward its engagement with Beijing. Turkey's ambitions are particularly evident in its immediate neighborhood, where it has adopted an assertive stance in the Eastern Mediterranean, the Caucasus, and the Middle East. With 710 billion cubic meters of natural gas discovered in the Black Sea, Turkey is reducing its energy reliance while asserting its maritime claims in the Eastern Mediterranean, raising tensions with Greece and Cyprus. Military modernization is another cornerstone of Turkey's geopolitical strategy. The development and deployment of armed drones, particularly the Bayraktar TB2, have showcased Turkey's growing military clout. These drones have been effectively used in conflicts ranging from Ukraine to Azerbaijan, solidifying Turkey's reputation as a key player in modern warfare. Simultaneously, Turkey's leadership in humanitarian efforts, such as hosting 3.6 million Syrian refugees, and its cultural outreach through globally popular Turkish TV series, have significantly boosted its soft power across the Middle East, Central Asia, and Africa. Turkey's aspirations extend beyond regional dominance, as Ankara has joined voices from the global south in advocating for reforms to international institutions. President Erdogan's oft-repeated phrase, "the world is bigger than five," critiques the exclusivity of the UN Security Council and signals Turkey's desire for a more equitable global order. Ankara's interest in joining blocs like BRICS and Shanghai Cooperation Organization further underscores its ambition to challenge Western-dominated systems while amplifying its influence on the global stage. At the same time, NATO membership remains critical to Turkey's strategy. Despite purchasing Russia's S-400 missile system, which led to U.S. sanctions, Ankara continues to position itself as a key player in Euro-Atlantic security. It supports the Ukraine's NATO aspirations, and its role in hosting critical Western military assets reflect its ongoing commitment to balancing its alliances. Turkey's rise is not without obstacles. Economic vulnerabilities, including heavy reliance on foreign energy and a persistently high current account deficit, constrain its ambitions. Political polarization and concerns over democratic backsliding also pose challenges to its global image. Yet, these hurdles coexist with significant opportunities. For instance, domestic natural gas production could reduce Turkey's energy imports and enhance economic stability. Geopolitically, Turkey's central location and role as a mediator in conflicts afford it unique strategic advantages. Moreover, Turkey's booming defense industry, with arms exports increasing by 106% since 2019, according to SIPRI, has made it the world's 11th largest exporter and positioned it to drive both economic growth and global influence. Turkey's growing power and geopolitical aspirations reflect a delicate balancing act between competing alliances and ambitions. Leveraging its economic resilience, strategic geography, and expanding military capabilities, Ankara aims to position itself as a global power center in an increasingly multipolar world. But what does Turkey's growing power mean for the balance of power in the region, and how is Greece responding? Before we address this question, I thought you should know it takes huge amounts of time to make these videos for you, and we'd love for you to support our channel by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Let's continue with Greece's response to Turkey's growing power. Stefan Walt's theory on balancing threats offers a vital lens to understanding Greece's current defense posture. His observation that nations don't balance against power, but they balance against threats, encapsulates Athens' rationale for military modernization. For Greece, the growing military strength and geopolitical ambitions of Turkey represent a multifaceted threat to national sovereignty. With the Eastern Mediterranean becoming increasingly volatile, Greece's response is not optional, but essential. The proximity of Turkey to Greece, and specifically to the hundreds of Greek islands scattered across the Aegean Sea, amplifies Athens' vulnerability. These islands, many within arm's reach of Turkey's coastline, are not just scenic landmarks but strategic footholds that require protection. This geographic reality has consistently fueled tensions between the two nations, with frequent airspace violations being a flashpoint. Turkish jets intrude into Greek airspace numerous times each year, forcing Greece to scramble its air force in a costly game of cat and mouse. Dispute over maritime boundaries further compound these provocations. Turkey's Blue Homeland Doctrine aggressively challenges Greece's territorial waters and exclusive economic zone, EEZ. This struggle isn't merely about national pride, but it's more about a battle over access to lucrative energy reserves beneath the Mediterranean seabed, resources that could transform Greece's energy profile and economic stability. Turkey's military modernization has intensified the strategic imbalance, with a defense budget representing 1.23% of its $907.12 billion GDP in 2022. Turkey has made substantial investments in cutting-edge capabilities. Its naval expansion, complete with advanced frigates, submarines, and amphibious assault ships, signals Ankara's intent to dominate the eastern Mediterranean. Domestically developed technologies like the Bayraktar drones and acquisitions such as the Russian S-400 missile system illustrate Turkey's dual strategy of self-reliance and asymmetric power projection. These developments are impossible for Greece to ignore. Turkey's growing arsenal directly threatens its airspace, maritime claims, and broader security architecture. Additionally, Turkey's use of hybrid tactics, including leveraging refugee flows as political pressure and deploying paramilitary proxies in contested zones, adds complexity to Greece's defense calculus. The Eastern Mediterranean isn't just a battleground between Greece and Turkey. It's a focal point for global power dynamics. Recent discoveries of vast natural gas reserves, estimated at over 3,450 billion cubic meters in the Levant Basin alone, have transformed the region into an economic and strategic hotspot. Greece's EEZ is assessed to contain up to 2 trillion cubic meters of natural gas, with potential valuations exceeding $200 billion, highlighting its immense energy potential. So it's more than apparent that these resources could diversify Europe's energy supplies. Turkey's unauthorized drilling activities in contested waters directly undermine Greece's claims and threaten regional stability. Beyond energy, Greece's geographic position as a NATO frontline state enhances its strategic importance. Ports like Suda Bay are vital for NATO operations, and maintaining control over these assets requires robust and modernized defenses. In response, Greece has embarked on an ambitious military modernization program. This isn't just about matching Turkey's capabilities, it's about deterring aggression and ensuring regional stability. Greece's acquisition of advanced Rafale fighter jets and plans to purchase F-35 aircraft reflect a focus on maintaining air superiority in the Aegean. Investments in new frigates and submarines aim to counter Turkey's naval expansion and protect Greece's maritime borders and energy interests. These efforts are driven by Greece's obligations as a NATO member. By exceeding NATO's defense spending benchmark of 2% of GDP, Greece demonstrates its commitment to the alliance's security goals. This strengthens its position as a reliable partner to key allies such as France, the United States, and Israel. Greece's growing cooperation with regional players through initiatives like the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum highlights its proactive approach to countering Turkey's influence through strategic alliances. While Greece's economic recovery has gained momentum, allocating significant resources to defense remains a difficult but necessary decision. Military modernization is a long-term investment requiring careful planning, particularly in light of Greece's fiscal constraints. Multi-year defense contracts help ensure that Greece's security goals are met without undermining its broader economic stability. For Athens, this balancing act is about more than defense spending. It's about survival in a rapidly evolving strategic environment. Every euro spent on modernizing the military is an investment in protecting Greece's territorial integrity, securing its energy resources, and upholding its role as a stabilizing force in the Eastern Mediterranean. In the next chapter, we will examine how Greece is going to secure and safeguard these necessities. Greece is embarking on an ambitious 13 billion euros defense modernization program, anchored by the development of the Hellenic Center for Defense Innovation. This hub aims to partner with private companies to foster a defense innovation ecosystem, enhancing Greece's cyber defenses and creating cutting-edge military technologies. In 2022, Greece allocated 3.7% of its GDP to defense, with 45.3% directed towards major equipment and modernization. Defense Minister Nikos Dindias has described the ongoing overhaul of Greece's armed forces as the most extensive reform in modern history. This strategy focuses on upgrading weapon systems, structural reforms, and the development of new defense technologies. A significant aspect of this modernization is the restructuring of the Air Force to achieve greater homogeneity and interoperability. This involves phasing out older aircraft like the F-4s and Mirage 2005s, upgrading existing F-16s to the advanced Viper level, and acquiring new Rafale jets and F-35 aircraft. The Ministry of Defense insists on maintaining three primary aircraft types: F-16 Viper, Rafale, and F-35 to streamline maintenance and operational efficiency. In January 2021, Greece awarded a 2.5 billion euro contract to France for the purchase of 18 Rafale fighter aircraft, later increasing the total to 24. Greece's defense strategy also involves optimizing the Army and Navy to meet current operational needs. The plan involves dissolving understaffed infantry battalions and relocating personnel to fully staffed critical units. Additionally, the Ministry of Defense plans to close several underutilized military bases, consolidating resources to enhance efficiency. The Navy will also undergo significant changes with the introduction of new FDI frigates, the upgrade of Hydra-class frigates, and the acquisition of corvettes. This modernization aims to ensure the Navy can effectively protect Greece's maritime interests. The Hellenic Navy's Surface Fleet Modernization Plan, presented at the Combined Naval Event 2024, includes ambitious projects to standardize and enhance naval capabilities. Key initiatives include the acquisition of new FDI frigates equipped with advanced systems like the Aster 30 SAM and the development of modular corvettes. The plan emphasizes the importance of co-producing Constellation-class frigates locally, enhancing interoperability with allied navies. Additionally, the Navy is upgrading fast attack craft and patrol boats, integrating state-of-the-art sensors and weapon systems to maintain operational superiority. The Agner Special Operations Craft, designed and built in Greece, highlights the country's growing capability to produce advanced military technologies domestically. The ongoing naval modernization aligns with Greece's defense expenditures, which have seen a steady increase, with experts predicting a 3.6% growth in defense spending over the next decade. Reviving the Hellenic aerospace industry, HAI, is a critical pillar in Greece's defense modernization. Minister Dindias envisions HAI playing a pivotal role in developing new technologies and research for the Greek armed forces. The industry aims to produce power multipliers, drones, and autonomous systems, benefiting from the innovative capabilities of Greek engineers. The Hellenic aerospace industry's efforts are set to push the Greek defense sector forward, akin to Turkey's development of the Bayraktar drones, which have provided significant geopolitical and economic benefits. Further bolstering its military capabilities, Greece has signed a deal with Sikorsky, a Lockheed Martin company, for 35 UH-60M Black Hawk helicopters. This acquisition includes personal training equipment, and an initial provisioning package, signifying enhancing self-defense and interoperability with NATO allies. Greece's military modernization is a strategic response to Turkey's growing power. By embracing technological innovation, optimizing military structures, and enhancing naval and aerospace capabilities, Greece aims to secure its sovereignty and maintain regional stability. The next decade will be crucial in defining the power dynamics of the region. If successful, Greece's modernization won't just deter aggression, it will reshape the regional order, ensuring peace and stability. However, this path requires vigilance, diplomacy, and a steadfast commitment to credible deterrence. As Sun Tzu wisely stated, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. By investing in advanced capabilities and fostering strong alliances, Greece is not just preparing for potential conflicts, but striving to prevent them, safeguarding its future security. Do you think Greece's modernization efforts will succeed in stabilizing the Eastern Mediterranean? What role should NATO and the EU play in this evolving power struggle? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content on geopolitics and international relations. Your support helps us bring you more in-depth analysis and discussions.